Hey guys, welcome back to High Yield Intraday Trading. I hope every one of you is doing good. So before we start discussing today's topic, let me request you all to subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button here. Once you click on it, you will get the confirmation on the left bottom corner. Post you subscribe to my channel, also make sure to press the bell icon and click on all. You will get the confirmation on the left bottom corner so that whenever I upload a video, you get the notification about the same without any misses. Also, I would request you all to subscribe to my Telegram channel with the name HYIT Intraday Calls because I share a lot of things over there and it might be helpful to you in some way or the other. All right. So there are many things that needs to be understood before you actually implement them in the live trading scenario and start earning money out of them. One of such things is the setup or what we call is the strategy, and especially the strategy that is being used by someone else and that guy is earning money by using that particular strategy. And this is the thing behind which many of the new traders keep running. Okay, and to be frank, not only the new traders, even you will get to see many experienced traders to be running behind that. Okay, now the thought process is like if this particular strategy is working for him or her, then it will surely work for me as well. But the hard fact is sometimes it works and sometimes it just doesn't. Okay, now please don't take my statement in a negative sense because what I said is it might work and it might not work as well. Okay, so the probability is 50-50 here. So the point is, if you are following someone or something that is being developed by someone else, then you have to get into his or her shoes and do the exact same thing that he is doing. Okay, and only after that you will see things working on your behalf. Okay, so in this video, this is the exact thing that we will be discussing because many of us have this big question in our minds, and that is why is the setup or why is the strategy not working for me? Okay, so I will try to put up some points that might be helpful for you to understand the exact points as to how to see the things and what best can be done to make things work in our favor. Okay, now having that said, let's talk about the first scenario, the scenario in which a particular strategy works for you even if that strategy is shared by someone else. Okay, now please note that this is only possible when you match the mindset with the other guy. Okay, it is when the way you both think matches, the way you both thinks, when that particular thinking syncs, that is when things start working. Okay, I mean, there are many examples where people take up the training and post they practice that stuff, they start earning really well. Now how did this happen? It happened because the guy who learned the stuff from someone else was able to think in the same way how the other guy thinks, or I can say how the trainer thinks. Okay, now this is not easy. Okay, it is absolutely not easy, and that's the exact reason why most of the guys fail to earn even if they have a good strategy to follow. Okay, now you might come up with a particular point that, boss, the only thing that we need to do here is to follow the exact thing that my trainer have asked me to follow. So how can things go wrong? Okay, so let me tell you that things are not that simple when we trade live. Okay, it needs a lot of observation to anticipate things in the right way. Okay, now if you have traded real time, then you won't deny to the fact that every single day you see something weird happening on the charts, you see something strange that you never would have thought about would be happening on the charts. Okay, especially in the intraday trading. Okay, to which nobody has an explanation. If you ask why this thing happened, nobody can explain that technically. Okay, now to understand it more, let's take the example of wicks. Okay, the shadows. Okay, the shadows, the wicks that form on the top and bottom of the candlesticks, I'm talking about those wicks. Okay, so what is the theory behind the wicks? The theory is, if a long wick is being formed on the top of the candlestick, then there is a bear pressure and we can expect the stock to go down and vice versa. Okay, so okay, let's do this. Let's hit the chart and I will explain the thing there. That will be more easier for you to understand. Okay. Oh, let me bring in the chart. So this is already a drawing that I have kept ready to explain this scenario. Okay, now if you see this candle, okay, this is a 15 minutes candle of Havells India. Okay, and the date was of yesterday, 21st of July 2022, as you can see here. Okay, so if you see the first candle, forget about whether it is the first candle of the day or the last candle of the day, just see this candle. Okay, what do you see over here? Okay, the one which is which is having an oval shape background. What do you see there? You see a really huge wick on the top of this candle, right? See how big the wick is. Okay, approximately it will be like 1240 to 1210. It is a 30 rupees, what do we say, shadow or a wick that you see here. So the moment you see this candlestick, what is the impression that you will carry? Obviously the impression that you'll carry is the sellers are in control, because of which they have pushed this particular price of this particular stock towards the downward direction, and it should further go down. If you see such a big wick, that is the impression that you have in the first sight itself, right? But what happened throughout the day? Throughout the day, this guy kept moving up. Okay. Now, you can argue that it was expected to go up, because when the day's high was broken here at this point somewhere, it was expected to go up. But we are not talking about all these candles. We are talking about just one candle which is having a really big wick on the top of the candlestick, which tells us that bears are in control, and which forces us to anticipate that the price of this particular stock should go down further. But the exact opposite thing happened, right? If I take the example of the next circle that we have here, the oval shaped thing that we have here, what do you see here? You see a really long wick at the bottom of the candlestick. Now, what does that imply? That tells us that the buyers are in control, and going forward, the stock prices should go up. And what happened? It fell. Okay, now forget about these candlesticks, whether these candlesticks are from the same day or from the next day. That doesn't matter. We are just talking about a particular candlestick that is having a really long wick, and what happens after that, right? So in this scenario, in the second scenario, the wick was at the bottom side, which tells us that the buyers were not ready to settle at such a lower price, as a result of which they pushed the stock prices in the upward direction, because of which this wick formed at the bottom of the candlestick, and the anticipation will be like the stock prices will go up from here. But what happened? In reality, it fell. Right now, if we see the next candle with this yellow arrow that you have there, what do you see here? We have a really long wick on the top of the candlestick, which tells us again that the bears are in control, and as expected, as anticipated, the stock price fell. The same thing happens at the second yellow arrow as well. What's happening in this candlestick? It is having a really big shadow or a wick on the upper side of the candlestick, which tells us again that the bears are in control, and as expected, the stock started falling. So, what is the takeaway from these four scenarios that we talked about? The summary that we can draw is, not every time the thing that you have learned will be followed by the market. Now, where does the observation comes into picture? Like, this is a classic example, I would say. Okay, the observation comes in when you wait for the candlestick to close and see what happens in the next 2 to 3 candlesticks. Okay, now what I mean to say here is, let's say for example this candlestick. So the initial candlestick ended with a really huge or a long wick on the upper side, and then the next candle started. As you can see, the second candle was having a wick but at the lower side of the candlestick. The third candle also was having a wick but at the lower side of the candlestick. So what does these two candlesticks uh, tell you? It tells you that the buyers are trying to take control. the buyers are not ready to settle at such a lower price. Okay. And the buyers are trying to push the stock prices in the upward direction. And finally, the same thing happened. The buyers won. So the observation comes in these two candles. Okay. So I hope you're getting the point. It's not that somebody tells you something and you start following it blindly. Okay, you need to observe things. It takes months and years to observe things correctly. Okay, again, just observing is not important, or just observing is not sufficient. You need to observe it correctly. What might happen if this particular candle has given me a long wick? Let me wait and see what happens in the next 2 to 3 candles, and then I will take a call whether I should buy the stock or whether I should sell the stock. That is where the observation parts comes into picture. Okay, so as you can see, it's not only about the things that has been told to you. Trading is more about the things that needs to be observed. Okay, and even you have the best strategy on this earth, you will not be able to make money if you are not able to observe the things that happen in the live market and relate it accordingly to the strategy that you have learned. Okay, so I hope you got the point. Now, getting on to the second scenario, wherein, let me minimize this. Okay, now getting on to the second scenario wherein a strategy does not work for you and you get frustrated. Okay, one of the main reasons why this happens is because people don't listen the things carefully. Like, for example, if I'm a trainer and I instruct you that whenever super trend comes below the candlesticks, take a long position. But do this only when the volume of the stock is above 5 lakhs or maybe 10 lakhs. Now, again, this 5 to 10 lakhs thing that I've told about volume, this is just for example. Okay, so as a trainer, what I have instructed you is whenever the super trend comes below the candlestick, take a long position. At the same time, also make sure that the volume of the stock is above 5 to 10 lakhs. Okay, now a trader who is over enthusiastic, he will just follow the super trend thing and will forget the volume thing. And as a result of which, the stock price will not go up even if the super trend was breached in the upward direction. Rather, post the trend change, it will start falling again and it will hit the stop loss. Now, why did this happen? This happened because the stock which you were trading was not having enough volume to push the stock price in the upward direction. Okay, and this is the exact reason why your trainer told you specifically that the volume should be above 5 to 10 lakhs. You getting the point, right? Just matching the technicals is not sufficient. Please understand. You need to see things from multi-direction perspective. Just a technical giving you a buy signal or a sell signal is not sufficient. There are many other things on which the stock prices depend upon. You also need to have a look on those things. And the good news is, for each and everything, we have a technical, either an indicator or an oscillator. Surely we have it. So make use of those indicators and oscillators depending on the parameters that you are considering. Put it on the charts and see the magic. Okay, I hope you're getting the point. Now, moving on. Another reason why people fail is because they're afraid of making changes to the existing strategy. Now, let's say you learned a strategy and while backtesting it, you found that you have got another indicator or oscillator that works really well in addition to the technicals that the trainer has provided you. So in such cases, you should not restrict or refrain yourself from using that technical in your setup. Please remember that there cannot be a single way of doing the right thing. There can be multiple ways of doing the same thing, right? Like, for example, 2 plus 2 is equals to 4, but 3 plus 1 is also equals to 4, right? So don't restrict yourself if you see something really working well for you, but at the same time, also make sure that you should not be adding in too many things into the setup. Okay, the mantra is keep things simple and keep things consistent. Okay, so these are some of the points that I wanted to put forward with you guys, and I hope it makes some sense and will help you in your learning curve. Okay, one thing to remember is in trading, simplest of the simplest thing work, but the catch is you need to know when and how to use them. Okay, when and how are the keywords, and if you are able to find the answer to these words, then you are sorted for life. Okay, as simple as that. Every single thing that you place on your chart should be backed up by a very strong logic. If you are able to do this, then be rest assured that nothing can stop you from earning profits from the stock market. Okay, so that's it from my end, guys. As and for the guys who have not watched my previous video, I have put in the video card on the top right corner of the video, the I symbol that you see there. You can click on it and watch my previous video. And as always, would request you all to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also, please do not miss the ending of this video, as you will get to know some more details about HYIT that might be helpful to you in some way or the other. And please feel free to ask your questions or queries, if any, in the comment section, and I will surely reply back to them. And also, please do not forget to like this video if you liked it. Okay, so that's all from my end, and I will see you all later. Hope you all will stick back. Happy trading and take care of yourselves.